Welcome to the World of Oz. I am Sean Oz, and today we are going to be talking all about the upcoming GoPro 10. It was just leaked, and of course, it's now all over the interweb. I figured since I use the heck out of action cameras, everything from the GoPro 9 through the GoPro 7 to the GoPro 4 to the GoPro 8 to the GoPro Max to the Insta360 One X2, One X1, One R, Go 2, as well as the Osmo Action, not to mention a few that I didn't bring up. I thought, who better to share these leaks, talk about what I think, as well as point out something that I have not seen anyone else mention yet. So stay with me through this video as we talk about the GoPro 10 and if GoPro dropped the ball and missed out on a hell of an opportunity to make the GoPro 10 the best action camera ever. As you can see by some of these leaked pictures, they are going with a black and blue color scheme this time, which I absolutely love. And instead of going with a number 10, they went with a big fat X. Just kidding. They're going with a regular old boring number 10. Though I still really love the blue. You've probably already guessed, but GoPro has not sent me an early release model of the GoPro 10 to go out and make crazy fun videos here in this gorgeous surroundings of mine in the Rocky Mountains that I live in. If they did, I wouldn't be here talking to you about leaks. So the million-dollar question that I have is, has GoPro done anything with the new 10 that makes me want to go out and spend my hard-earned money on that separates it from the GoPro 9? Let's find out. Oh, and before we start, a huge thanks to Quant, whatever you would say his name. They're the ones who leaked out these original images that I'm sharing with you in this video. We really appreciate you getting these leaks out to all of us in the public. The first thing we notice is that the front still has a full-on video screen, just like the GoPro 9. I honestly think at this point, any future action camera that does not come out with a screen in the front will be failing to stay competitive with the rest on the market. Unless, of course, that's a 360 camera and that works completely different, which we won't get into in this particular video. We can thank DJI for making the front-facing screen a regular thing that we're seeing now on pretty much every action camera. It also looks like there's still a proper lens cover that we can remove at home and replace. And that's a great thing because the GoPro 8, they got rid of it. There's one other thing that I noticed on the front that I'd like to point out that I haven't seen anybody else talk about yet. But before we do, I want to talk about some of the other features that the GoPro 10 has. That way it'll make a little bit more sense when I deep dive into my thoughts on the front. Let's take a look at the back side real quick, and you can see that, yes, it still has giant looking bezels, just like the GoPro 9. Going into 2022, I gotta say I'm a little surprised that it doesn't have a borderless edge-to-edge screen yet. I think that would make using it with the menu functionality so much easier. Maybe we'll look out and the GoPro 11 will finally have that edge-to-edge screen that we've been asking GoPro for quite a while now. It would be nice to see them utilizing all of that space for our advantage. Although GoPro did not fill up all that space on the back side of the camera, they did finally update the brain of the camera itself. That's right, instead of a GP1 chip, they have finally updated the camera to the GP2 chip that we've all been waiting on for a really, really long time. We can only assume it's because of this upgraded GP2 chip that they are claiming that it has even better stabilization. But honestly, I think there's really only one way that they can get the stabilization better than what the GoPro 9 already comes with, and that's if they gave it the stabilization of the GoPro Max in hero mode. They sort of tried to do that with the GoPro 9 by giving you the option to buy the Max Lens mod. I gotta give them credit, it did work okay. It was a pretty good attempt to be able to get 360 locked horizon stabilization out of a regular action camera. The stabilization of this thing definitely outshined a gimbal for action sports. It also made the GoPro 9 have a wider field of view. Not quite as wide as the GoPro Max, but very, very close. It is pretty amazing technology, and it's something that I've been bragging about and talking about for years. So it does stoke me out quite a bit to see a company pushing that technology into their action cameras for us. And it's about time, since it is 2021 right now. Now, saying that, let's go ahead and flip the picture back to the front and take a look at the front of these leaked GoPro 10 images. In this one photo that it shows it sort of at a 3/4 view, something looked a little different to me than what I see on the GoPro 9. Did GoPro figure out a way to create a new lens that worked like the GoPro 9, but it also worked as if you had the Max lens already installed on the camera? Because if so, it would just take a tap of the digital screen to switch back and forth from regular hero mode to Max hero mode, which would give you the ultimate stability that dwarfs pretty much any gimbal out there for an action camera. And when you were done with that full 360 horizontal walk, poof, another tap of the button, and you have frame rates of 120, 240, and fingers crossed this time, 480. I cannot tell you how many times in the winter I've wanted to change these lenses in the middle of a snowstorm or on a chairlift, or just when it was cold outside, be afraid I was gonna drop it in the snow and lose this thing forever. And at $99 a pop, this isn't something I just want to throw in the snow and hope that I can find it when the snow melts away in the summer. Now, this is sort of speculation on my part, because I can't tell for sure with all the leaked pictures of the box and the things that are written on it, anything that 100% verifies this, except that it does say Hypersmooth 4.0. Now, if it does have this feature built in, yes, all day long I will be giving GoPro my money yet again. It wouldn't quite be the action camera that you've heard me talk about before, the ultimate all-in-one action camera combining the functionality of the GoPro 9 as well as the creativity of the Hero Max, a camera that gives us all kinds of high frame rates, but with 360 as a bonus that we could just choose to tap on and off whenever the shot needed something to make it a little bit more artistic. Now, I've had some people say, oh, I'd never use a 360 camera. Well, my car has a radio and I use Spotify and never use my radio, but I'm so glad that it still has it as an option. In other words, having a feature that you don't use doesn't mean that the camera isn't good. So those people who always thought having that 360 camera like the Max built into the GoPro 9 or GoPro X10, whatever you want to call it, was a bad thing, you guys got to think bigger. I would love to have just one awesome action camera that did everything from 360 to high frame rates to high resolution and everything in between would be ideal. But maybe that's why GoPro did not create the 10 like this after all, because they knew if they did, it'd be the last action camera you ever needed to buy, and that means bye-bye money. Because as long as they keep them separate, they can sell more of the GoPro 10 and more of the Max 2 separately. Where I personally think putting them all together, they would sell more than they ever did before. Now, jumping back into leaked pictures, we can see that the still pics for the GoPro 10 have jumped up in resolution from 20 megapixels up to 23 megapixels. Woohoo! That's just amazing. Video is still 5K for all you resolution whores out there. I personally still use 1080 for 95% of everything I make for YouTube, which does make me wonder, what are they doing with frame rates in 1080? I cannot find anything verifying if 1080 still only goes up to 240 frames a second, or if that is going to double up to 480. Now, on the package, we can see that 5K does get a bump up to 60 frames a second, 4K gets a bump up to 120 frames a second, so that is why I am questioning, does 1080 get that bump too? It says the 10 has the same waterproof depth as the 9, which is about 33 feet if you're not using an external housing. I have used my 9 in all kinds of water conditions, whether it be a freezing stream up here in the mountains or warm Florida beaches in the Gulf of Mexico. Time warp is still considered 3.0, even though they're claiming the stabilization as a 4.0, which is a step up. Time warp does not seem to be affected by that. So this does leave me with a few questions that we just don't know the answers for yet. Will the batteries in the GoPro 10 be compatible with the GoPro 9 and vice versa? Will your old GoPro 9 batteries work for your GoPro 10? For those of you who bought the media mod, will that go from the GoPro 9 and work seamlessly with the GoPro 10? And if I am wrong and they have not put some kind of new lens in there that makes it work like the Max Lens mod is 100% always built in, will our old Max Lens mod slide right on to the GoPro 10? So the big question now is, will you be sending your money to GoPro to get a GoPro 10? For myself, if they did make it with that Max Lens mod already pre-attached, then hell yes. And if not, then I just might be waiting for the Max 2. Since having the 360 and the hero mode in one camera truly opens so many doors and so many creative possibilities based off the leaks we're talking about and seeing out there right now for the GoPro 10, if I'd spend my money on that versus the Max 2. I would need the 10 to step up its game considerably to spend another $400, give or take, to buy one that was almost just like this. So if the GoPro 10 only has higher frame rates and those higher resolutions, to me that's just not the game changer that I truly hoped the GoPro X would have been.